Well, Molly, for more on the House leadership fight, let's bring in Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter. He's a member of the House Budget Committee. Congressman, thanks very much for joining us this afternoon. There seem to be some Republicans who may not be on board with another term for Speaker Johnson. Here, take a listen to this.
I think that Mike has done an admirable job under tough conditions, but I'm going to keep my options open. I want to have a conversation with Mike. I don't know where this is going right now, but with Thomas Massie already saying he's a hard no, people like Victoria Sparks saying that they're likely a no, that's concerning. And we just got to make sure that we get the best person for the job under the circumstances.
So what do you think, Congressman? Is this Congress going to start out with another protracted speakers fight?
Well, I certainly hope not. I want to be perfectly clear. I fully support Mike Johnson. I think he's done as good a job as anyone could have done with the cards that he's been dealt. And then who else is going to do it? I mean, this is ridiculous. We have been given a mandate by the American people. President Trump has been given a mandate. The first 100 days are going to be extremely important. We do not need a protracted speaker's race. It's certainly not like we had 2 years ago. That's going to throw a kink into everything we're trying to do. And I would be remiss as the incoming chair of the Health Subcommittee if I did not mention that we've got a number of healthcare programs impacting children, mothers, and rare diseases that need to be addressed immediately.
And this is on top of, there was a government funding bill on the table. We finally got one through on the finish line, but that expires pretty early in the new Congress. All of these things are sort of backing up the housekeeping that you have to do, like, elect a speaker, fund the government, and that pushes everything off, right?
It does push everything off, and that's the last thing we need right now. I mean, and then you got the debt ceiling coming up. Now, we've got a gentleman's agreement with the president, and I think we can work through that. But at the same time, we do not need this kind of chaos that's going to interrupt us. We need to keep our eye on the ball. We need to be focused on what the American people want us to be doing.
There was some criticism as part of this that Republicans needed to be able to negotiate with themselves and not just Democrats here. But when Republicans have had control of the House, there still have been outstanding government funding bills that just haven't been passed, even though you guys have had control of Congress with such narrow margins. Unity appears to be more important than ever. Do you think you're going to have it going into this Congress?
I think that when it comes down to it, we will be together. I have to believe that. Look, all of us want to cut spending, and that's why we're so excited about DOGE and about the opportunity that presents to all of us. Every American right now, because of our debt, owes $100,000 on our debt. We've got to get that under control. We understand that. But until we address non-discretionary spending, that is Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, we're never going to get our debt under control.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because there are a number of people out there who are saying we can't focus on that side of the budget. But there's really no way that you can get to anywhere close to a balanced budget without touching that, right?
Oh, absolutely. And listen, it would be political suicide if one party tried to do it without the other party's cooperation. This has got to be bipartisan. And both parties have to understand that it's for the good of the country that we do this. We need to save Social Security, not cut it, not raise taxes, but save it. That's what we need to do. We need to address Medicaid and Medicare. And again, that's going to be one of my big focuses as incoming chair of the Health Subcommittee. What we do with the fastest growing area in our budget, Medicare, because of an aging population.
And you're also part of the DOGE caucus on Capitol Hill in the House. What happens from your perspective on H-1B visas, these visas for high-tech workers high-skilled workers who come into the United States? Big fight between Musk and Ramaswamy and some of the MAGA base. Just heard that in a report a couple of minutes ago. Where are you on all of this? Do you think we need to expand those visas, or should Americans be filling those jobs?
Well, if we had Americans who would fill those jobs, that'd be great. But, I'm looking at a situation where we don't have a lot of Americans who are willing to fill those jobs or are capable of filling those jobs. So we shouldn't rule anything out. I mean, obviously, what the American people said is that you've got to secure that border. You've got to do something about the people who are already in here illegally. And we all understand that, and we all want to do something about it. But let's do it in a smart way. Don't cut off our nose in spite of our face.
You know, you look at Doge and you look at the leaders there. Relationships between billionaires aren't necessarily the most enduring things on planet Earth. Do you see this working relationship between the president-elect and Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy really enduring through a 4-year term?
Well, I don't have any experience with relationships of billionaires. I'm not one, but yeah, you know, obviously there are big egos that we're talking about here, and obviously when you have big egos, you have a lot of clashes. But I am very, very excited about Elon and Vivek both. I will tell you, our first meeting with them was excellent, and everyone left that room just inspired and enthusiastic about having the opportunity to address what we all know is inefficiency of the federal government. You know, I was a small businessman for 32 years, I owned my own business, and there were two things you had to have. You had to have excellent customer service, and you have to have fiscal responsibility. I would submit to you that the federal government has neither of those.
When you look at Doge, what would you recommend more than anything else that, you know, because they're throwing a lot of stuff at the wall here, different topics, different areas of government they want to cut or make efficient. If you had one recommendation to give Doge, what would it be?
It would be address the United States Postal Service.
Good enough. Okay, Congressman Buddy Carter of Georgia's 1st District, where I was a local reporter not too long ago. Well, actually, it was very long ago. But anyway, Congressman, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.